What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Just North of Hell podcast. I'm your host, Mark Thomas.
I'm the co-host, James Winters.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, back again.
Your first podcast in the new studio.
Yeah, is this the second or third podcast in here?
Second podcast in here.
Second.
You're first.
Well, yeah, I know my first, but I'm just asking.
No.
I feel like I haven't been here forever. How things gone? Who have you had on? I haven't watched anything because I've been so busy, man.
Bonnie and Sonny.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
And Seb was here. You know, he might have brought his significant other who's sitting on the opposite side of the camera.
And you guys,
I can't confirm that, though. I can't confirm that.
I think the craziest thing is when we always have someone behind the camera, they may as well be on. Well, they may as well be like mic'd up. Maybe not like on the camera because, you know, they want to protect their identity or whatever. Because we refer to them constantly. Like, we can't not talk about them. Or at least, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't like that without me here. Maybe I'm the problem. Because anytime someone's off camera, I refer to them constantly. There's no one off camera right now. I'm just referring to a hypothetical person. See? Even when it's hypothetical, I can't stop.
Jesus.
What is that terrible noise you're making, Marky?
It's a terrible-ass computer of mine.
Oh, the jet engine's the cooling. Got it.
Jet engines. We're trawling on the runway.
Yeah. You know, after that thing's battery dies, like, not like dies temporarily, but like builds up so much cumulative damage that it no longer holds a charge. That would be a great, like, you know, take it out of its current case and turn it into a PC. Because, like, that thing's got some fucking oomph.
It does have some oomph. Actually, has more oomph than my actual PC.
That's what I mean. It's got oomph. Like, that thing's got oomph. Give that like a whole ass case with you have like real full size fans on it. You could really pump that.
Yeah, I like having the desktop though. It's a game changer. I don't have to set this up. You know, have the dock. I don't have to reset it up. Have the dock laptop set up.
If the docking mode was, if like, let's say on the back of the computer right there and between the two fans, there was some ports and you had a little setup where you just put the laptop in and it automatically connected to the ports.
Like a switch?
Like the switch drops in.
I wish.
You wouldn't care anymore.
I wouldn't. That'd be great.
But here's the problem with that setup. And it's the same problem that I think a lot of devices have that are like powerful, that have like low battery life, like an hour or two. Like powerful laptops have a big issue where you want to use them on the charger because you don't have to think about charging them because they drop battery in an hour or two. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to keep them on the charger all the time. But it's so much more convenient to do that.
Right.
I don't know why they don't have a separate power mode where the battery like stays cycling at like 85%, right? So it's not damaging the battery and also powering it directly, like has a direct power source from the AC. Like I have as a AC to DC converter, so it just directly does that.
I just don't think most people are docking their laptops. That's one problem.
I know everyone I know like keeps their laptop on the charger at all times, pretty much.
My dock setup was, you know, I had to connect to a monitor though.
Yeah.
But like, I'd always like, you know, be conscientious. Okay, like unplugging it, let it kind of die down to like 20%. Plug it back in.
You're a conscientious guy. Some of us are, you know, slobs. You know, hopeless messes that, despite knowing the consequences, do the terrible things anyways. So you know, we would like a solution to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Get a desktop.
True. He's right. When you're right, you're right.
Surprised you don't have a desktop yet.
It's just a lot of money when I can do everything on my laptop still.
True. But do you think a desktop would be a game changer for you?
A game changer?
Or would be a quality of life improvement?
That certainly.
Because how many monitors do you have plugged into your laptop?
Well, currently one, but sometimes I get out like four. I have this USB-C to 4. Well, no, sometimes 5 to be fair. 5 extra monitors, so it's 6 total if you include the screen and the laptop. Because I have a USB to 4 HDMI ports, USB Type-C to 4 HDMI, and I use all of them. And then I also use the HDMI port off the computer. It's when I'm like analyzing like chess lines and like reading world news and like playing a game in the background at the same time kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I know you could like flip through tabs, but like I want to be able to like look at it. I don't know.
I'm just sticking with 2 right now. 2 screens.
Nah, man, you gotta get like 40. Okay.
40? There's a. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna show you. There's a thing on Twitter that was like cool. That like shows like all the different types of like screen setups. And it's like, you know, good, neutral, bad. Good, neutral, bad. So you get like, you know, or like chaotic, neutral.
Oh, you had like chaotic to lawful, from good to bad. Good to evil. And like 40 of them were probably like chaotic evil. And they're not like good monitors either. They're like random monitors. Lawful good.
How do you make this bigger? Open link in new window.
Okay. You wanna open image in new tab.
There we go.
Okay. So like on a normal day, I'm chaotic good, it seems like, right?
I was chaotic good for a bit. No, I was lawful neutral for a good minute. A really good minute.
Yeah.
But then I'm neutral good right now.
Well, I honestly think that if you turn the main monitor into a laptop, you immediately go from chaotic good to chaotic neutral. Because like it just becomes a lot more chaotic. And then
right.
when you turn the secondary monitor from like less of a monitor and more of like an old TV, you go from like, you know, you go from like moderately chaotic to like extremely chaotic. And then when you get like 6 different like little TV monitors, you're like definitely, I don't know if you're chaotic evil, but maybe.
Are you at chaotic evil? Have you been there?
Oh, I've been there like, yeah. Like,
I remember back in 2020, we were like, me, you, Brian, and Jess were on Discord all like looking at looked like the electoral college maps. I think I remember like, I don't know, you Google Duo to me. You showed your setup for a second.
Yeah, I
saw
did.
all these screens. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, man, you gotta watch everything. You need to have your eyes on everything, man.
Right.
That was in that little closet that I was in too. That was funny.
Are you in? No, yours down the one room that goes.
No, I was in the closet.
No, but right now you're in the room that where your dad.
Yeah. I'm in that room. Yeah.
You think you're gonna stay in that room?
Yeah, I mean, it was originally my room. I mean, I'm going to stay there as long as I stay there. I'm hoping to move out pretty soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Good.
Yeah. But,
yeah, that was a crazy episode and like period when you were like in that tiny like little like room.
Yeah.
That you found.
Well, yeah. It was dumb as hell. I mean, like, I don't know how.
Well, you found it is a thing that's strange.
Like, okay, so I don't know. I might have said this already on the podcast. I think I did. Basically, I was in the, I had to move back home because like COVID stuff, yada, yada. So I was living in this room up in the attic, and there's this little closet in that room, but the back of the closet, there was this wall, and like, it sounded really hollow. So like I did the only logical thing and broke it. Like imagine it was just like a space in the wall. How embarrassing would that be? But it turned out there was like an extra space back there, like completely unfinished.
How big was it?
Not that big, man. Like
a utility closet.
This table, like maybe like this. No, a little wider. Like maybe
wider than the table.
No, not wider than the table for sure. Like maybe.
From there,
this wide, because
like the cord right there.
The regular closet this wide. It went in, and then suddenly it's this wide.
Wow, how deep?
And not much more than the table deep, honestly.
Oh, so you were like, were you like you had it like your desk was here, or you like went in and you had it like long?
The weird thing is that there was basically 2x4s with a thin piece of like wood stuff over the 2x4s. Already like in the wall, like already like screwed into the wall.
Sounds like a desk already there.
Yeah, it's like a desk already there, and that's what. And like there was another one that was similar to it above it. That's where I put my extra monitors. So I'd have like 3 monitors on my.
And this one on top.
No, I had one. I had 2 on top sometimes. Yeah.
Jeez.
I had a third one, but I couldn't get it to like.
So you were like lawful good, but then you had like neutral good on top of it, pretty much.
Yeah.
But not as it was like. Lawful good with some chaotic good on the top.
So you see that like lawful neutral setup?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but mix it with chaotic evil. And that's where I was chilling.
You gotta show me this room sometime when
Yeah, when the upstairs is finished, I'll show it to you. 20 years later.
I want to see what you guys are doing. I'm actually interested.
We're doing a little bit of everything, and honestly, I think when you do a little bit of everything, you accomplish a lot of nothing. It's very annoying.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Your house is cool. I like the story how it
Yeah. Old houses are cool.
Well, I think the coolest thing when he told me about the pool table.
Oh yeah, the pool table had to be lowered in when the house was being built. There's no other way to get it down there.
Ain't coming out either.
It ain't coming out because it's a full slate. Like the
Could you take it out?
No, the slate's too big and it's way too fucking heavy.
You'd probably have to cut the slate in half and like somehow reassemble it, but that'd just be useless. Take a break.
No.
Have to?
Yeah, I have to pick up this up.
Alrighty, we're back. All right, we're back.
Sorry about the rude interruption. Whatever we were talking about, I think we were talking about the slate.
This stuff.
Oh yeah.
Screens and
shit. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We need to diverge. We need to diverge.
Diverge from the screen.
Diverge from the screen talk. Okay. What do you think about let's what we haven't done on the podcast, and maybe you guys did it without me, but I don't care. I haven't done it, so I want to do it. Let's get controversial. What do you think about the Roe v. Wade being overturned?
I was going to talk about it. Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Oh boy, where do I start? You know what's funny? So there's a YouTuber named Johnny Harris. I've told you about him, right?
Nope.
Makes really good video essays. The day before, he made a hypothetical video if Roe v. Wade was overturned. And it's about a pill for the pill, but for men.
Oh, okay.
Stopping semen and
yeah. There is well, no, it doesn't. It just makes you basically makes everything that comes out dead weight.
That there's I guess one being developed. It's so it actually changes the head of the semen. Yeah,
so it can't get in.
It makes it like a hook, so it can't swim as efficient.
Yeah,
rather than kind of like the bullet shape or
Here's my issue. Okay, here's my issue with that. I would never take that
pill for the men.
Yeah, I would never take that.
No, I wouldn't either. But I don't think. I think the pill for women is bad enough.
Yeah, I think
because just the mood swings it give them, the hormonal imbalances, but sometimes it's very necessary for to take it.
Yeah, but there's better ways to do that, controlling your diet and exercise. And for some people, that's actually limiting their exercise. For women, is a big way to help deal with your menstrual cycle. If you don't want to compromise in your exercise level, then you're gonna have to change your diet drastically, with how much you eat, what you eat is gonna be very important. There's other ways to go about it, right? Yeah. You don't need the pill for that, right?
Well, the thing is, the reasons a woman might take a pill, besides not getting pregnant, their other needs,
Yeah, I know. That's why I just
problems
said
with their period, other hormonal issues.
I said those can be balanced with diet. Is what I was saying.
For us, it'd just be so we don't get a girl pregnant. That's all it would be.
It would be just that, yeah.
There might be other tiny little things exceptions.
Yeah.
But a majority of the guys, if there's a male pill, it would just be for just not getting a girl pregnant.
Well, also here's something that I want to mention, that there are risks associated with the female pill too, but with the male pill, because it's affecting with the female pill, the eggs aren't affected by the pill, right?
No, it's the systems that distribute the eggs.
It's the uterine systems. Yeah. It doesn't allow attaching, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, it makes the uterus a more difficult place for the egg to live in.
So it doesn't affect the actual egg. Mm-hmm. This would be directly affecting not just the sperm.
The environment.
It would be directly affecting the production of sperm, which sounds a lot more intrusive to the body, right? Which sounds a lot more it could affect stuff long term, right?
Well, I heard that I was watching this video by Johnny Harris, and they're doing some trials with this one pill, and I think they stopped it because they're having issues of mood swings. Men are having depression, having acne, and stuff like that. So it's like,
Well, I'd imagine it'd be a bit worse than in the case of women. I imagine like men's effects would be worse than women's. Because
I guess some men were saying that they could still go on and still do the trial and take the pill.
Yeah, of course.
I just wouldn't take it personally because I don't like the idea of something altering my state of mind. And also just the chemicals and shit in it. Even though you
drink caffeine, right?
Yeah.
You don't mind something altering your state of mind. Let's be honest. You mind not knowing how that state change is going to be, and you also mind probably the risks associated.
But when something like depression and messing with my hormones and stuff, I don't know if I like that 100%.
I'm with you on that.
Or let me have one less thing I would have to take maybe potentially.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So I think from a male
just wear fucking rubber, man.
Wear rubber.
Wear a good rubber. Hey, if you like it rough, double coat.
Yeah, you can.
If you like it rough, double.
It's a free damn country.
Actually, it's been kind of proven that double stacking doesn't help at all. Maybe I think, as far as I understand. But that shit doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there.
But what do you think about the big picture issue when there's Roe v. Wade being overturned?
Okay, here's my honest opinion.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I think that abortion should be allowed as like a choice for women. I do think that.
Yeah. I would say so. Even as a Catholic, I'm kind of like
I think it is extremely, extremely unfortunate if they go through with it. If they feel that has to happen.
Well, I think it needs to be it should be something that should definitely be a last resort thing, like something like we don't want to go there, but if we have to, we have to.
Well.
Now I understand in case of like a pregnancy outside the uterus.
Yeah, ectopic pregnancy.
Do it.
Yeah,
and if your life is going to be
here's the thing.
Do it.
Roe v. Wade doesn't, as far as I understand. Right, and if I'm wrong, guy, and anyone who listens to this, please correct me in the comments.
It doesn't count that.
It doesn't count medical emergencies. Jess, a friend of mine, was talking to me about how in Texas women aren't allowed to get it even for medical reasons. That's just not true. In a medical emergency like an ectopic pregnancy, an abortion is not really viewed as an abortion. It's viewed as saving the child bearers, the mothers, whatever you want to call her, the patient. You just save the patient, right? The child is like in an ectopic pregnancy, the child's fucked. Like I don't know how to tell you, it's fucked. There might be something you could do maybe, and if you could somehow reattach it. I don't know about all that. That sounds like really spectacle.
Is an ectopic pregnancy abortion legal?
Yeah.
Opens the states to decide. Yep. Grows outside the uterus. In the fallopian tube. Yep. Yes. Let's see. Medication or surgery. Both forms result in
courts are not include the term ectopic pregnancy. Whether an ectopic pregnancy is legal would depend on the individual state laws. Texas trigger laws, which allow wholly or partly, is set to be in effect 30 days long, includes an exception for abortions performed by patients in life-threatening physical conditions or the pregnancy poses serious risks or substantial impairment of major bodily function.
So even Texas is going to allow it.
Even Texas, the most strict state, allows it. You see, right there. People got the wrong idea about this, right? It's not going to prevent medical stuff. Even this says it.
I think because even I remember in Mr. Murphy said in the class, if you could save one life but have to lose one, do it.
You have to, right? And in the ectopic pregnancy, both are going to die. If you don't save the one, both are dead, right?
I think 100%. I think those should be legal.
Of course, and
I think they should be federally made.
And as we said, in even in the strictest state for abortion right now, Texas.
Actually, I think Mississippi's pretty strict too.
Okay, but I'd imagine if people aren't having an aneurysm over it, I'd imagine they'd have the similar laws to Texas.
Yeah.
Right? Because if any state said we're not going to do it for medical reasons, everyone would have an aneurysm over that. Right? It'd be a conniption fit. Right? So, like, I see this misinformation about the medical part of abortions being removed, and that's just not true. Right? So let's just get that out of the way. Anyone who thinks that, you're just wrong. Okay? The medical portion is not a factor here. Okay? Those are still completely legal. And if they were illegal, I'd be throwing a fit.
I think
right?
that should be 100%.
Now we're going to talk about the moral implication of allowing a choice of the mother to get an abortion. This could be for a myriad of reasons, right? So, like, for example, let's say she was raped, right? And even though this is a rarer case, it's not rare enough to, like, ignore. She's raped. She doesn't want to have that baby, right? Well, how the hell are we supposed to prove that, right? Compared, how the hell are we supposed to prove that in comparison to, like, you just had sex with your boyfriend? How are we supposed to prove that? We can't.
Are you saying, like, the hypothetical case the girl claims that she was raped, but maybe, like, the boyfriend got her pregnant?
Yeah, right?
Oh, well, that's a totally different ballgame.
You can't prove it. So we can't be like, you can only do this you can only get an abortion if you were raped.
Well,
right?
I don't think. The thing is, though, like, it's getting too much into, like, that, like, consider. I think, you can't.
That's what I mean.
I don't think abortion should be, like, only legal if it's rape.
Well, I don't think that either.
Yeah,
I was just saying for people who think that, that's just not a possibility.
Yeah.
Right? I do think there are circumstances where it is maybe the optimal play to forego the pregnancy. I'm trying not to be my normal vulgar self right now, because I would just be like, the optimal play to yeetus that fetus. Like, we're not trying to be like that right now. But
yeetus and deletus that fetus.
Yeah, deletus the fetus. So I can understand why personally, and I'm not a woman, so, like, what do I know? But personally, I don't know if I could do it, man.
You don't know if you could abort if you were a woman, you don't know if you can even.
I don't think I could.
That might be you, though.
That might be me, though.
Some women will bear
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Put it on them. Put the choice on them, right? Now, I think the one thing I think that should be changed, right? I think Roe v. Wade should probably be reinstated, right? But I do think that there should be a limitation on when you can get it done.
I think late-term abortion should be illegal.
Yeah, because
New York's laws, those are sick.
Yeah, they are sickening. You want to know why? Because at 5 months, you're pretty much guaranteed to survive outside the womb. You're pretty much guaranteed. If you have even a decent hospital system, the progress in those prenatal care is insane. I think we're able to, like, save preemies up to, like, all the way at like 3 months now. It's kind of crazy, right? Here in Ohio, we have the heartbeat law. I think it's
bill, yep.
14 weeks. Or is it 12?
I don't know. Maybe between that. Let's see. I mean, this is more like a news article about it.
I really like that law, because here's the thing.
Abortion ban is now the law. Here's what that means.
6 weeks, it said? Forced birth is racist? What?
Don't pay attention to her.
That's like there are some legitimate arguments to have about forced birth, right? I think 6 weeks, that's a bit soon. That's a bit soon.
After 6 weeks of gestation, that's pretty fucking early.
Yeah, I know, that's pretty aggressive. 20 weeks is way too long, though.
How long? I'm trying to think.
Like I said, how long is 20 weeks? 5 months. Well, that's a little less than 5 months. But you get what I mean. It's 5 months, man. That's 5 months. at that point, you could just have the baby. You could just induce labor. You could just induce labor, and that baby's gonna be A-okay, man.
How long can it take a woman to figure out she's pregnant? I don't know.
Well, it's gonna tell you some women don't know up until they have the baby, and you know those women are extremely negligent about their own care, right? Because if you're actively having sex,
okay, 2 weeks. That's pretty soon though. 6 weeks. That's still soon. About 2 weeks.
That's about okay. I agree. That's why I'm saying 6 weeks. I'm saying like 14 is probably where I'm sitting. I'm thinking 14.
14 weeks should be?
Yeah, 14.
Months.
Now, like in theory, you could save that baby. I as far as I have heard, I think 3 months you can save that thing, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, look up the chance of a preemie surviving at 5 months, and then look at 3 months, and
surviving. Can't type.
You could put it in 20 weeks. At 28 weeks, 80-90%.
4. That's pretty good.
Only 10. Wait. Only 10% chance of having long-term health problems. That's not even survival. That's a 10% chance. Okay, that's pretty crazy.
5 months.
Yep. 22 weeks. Yeah. You can save a baby at 5 months. That's why I think 20 weeks. That's a long time. Now maybe they're starting at 20 weeks so that when they adjust the bill, they can we negotiate it down between 20 and 6. That would come out to what, 13. So that's about what I'm saying, 14, right? Maybe that's kind of the goal, but
I think a woman should have enough time to make the decision, but not so much time that you're getting to the point like
it's a baby.
A baby
where it can like live out on its own
Yeah.
and kind of do its thing. Like at 9 months, man, look, I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but at 9 months, if that baby wasn't gonna kill you, you're a monster. Like at 9 months, if it wasn't life threatening, you're a fucking monster.
And they
okay?
could probably. I wonder if they could. Yeah, you could probably determine if a baby.
I use that term quite with lots of caution, because I don't want to call someone a monster for no reason. But if you have an abortion at 9 months, you're a fucking monster. Okay?
I think it's
like it just like if you killed an infant, you're a fucking monster. Okay? And this is what I mean. I think this is what I wanted to say. I want even after Roe v. Wade gets reinstated, because I really
You think it's going to get reinstated?
Yeah.
How though? How would that happen though?
There's going to be so many lawsuits filed that get pushed to the Supreme Court, because in states where it's illegal.
But imagine how long that could take to get reinstated, though.
Not more than a year, man. Okay, maybe it could take a long time if people want to be stubborn about it.
It could. We have a very conservative court right now. Very conservative judges.
And you see, I loved the protection of the Second Amendment.
That was great.
Yeah, where you're allowed. We're basically concealed carry is like it's supposed to be legal, right? Like you're supposed to be able to carry a gun wherever you go, however you want to carry it, right? So like the laws in New York where you can't carry a gun anywhere, Second Amendment says keep and bear, so I can fucking bear them, meaning I could wield those motherfuckers, right? Mm-hmm. Ohio, there's no problem, obviously. You're allowed to open carry wherever you want, whenever you want. It's the concealed carrying part that I think is illegal here in Ohio.
No, you could have a concealed carry. Now you have a permit now.
Now you can, but prior you couldn't.
Yeah, prior, before.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I don't like the Roe v. Wade call, man. I really think that's a bad thing for society. And also, I think it's a bad thing. See, I'm split, because I think it's a bad thing politically. It's a bad move politically, because they pushed through two major decisions at the same time. right? And basically that could go one or two ways. Either the Roe v. Wade acts as a fucking, sorry for the F word, acts as a smoke screen for the Second Amendment Second Amendment ruling, right? Or because it riles up so much attention, they can use all that political all those political resources built up versus Roe v. Wade, and steamroll that ruling as well, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I even as someone who's Christian Catholic, I think it should still be. I think it should be reinstated. To be honest.
Yeah.
Like I've kind of reached this point. Like
it's just good for society.
It's a free society, and democracy should not be signed with specific beliefs. For religion or anything.
I agree.
I think our democratic values are based off Judeo-Christian values.
Yes.
But not actual beliefs.
Yes.
There's a difference between values and beliefs.
100%. Right? And that's why I don't think people's religion should be involved in their politics.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Because I think that there's one thing what you view as, like, morally just, and there's another thing that you view as, like, how the world should run. Right?
I mean, I think the process of abortion is disgusting, but I obviously realize... For some women, it's necessary.
Yeah,
they don't have the money to raise a kid, and
yeah,
I think it should be last resort type of thing.
And this is what I mean.
Last resort, if it's not like a dire straits type of situation, or
but that's something that that has to be a social. You know what I mean? You can't like somehow make it a last resort through policy, right? You have to do it through I think socially, abortion should be viewed as like. Yeah, I don't really want to do this, right? I
don't think most girls. I mean, there might be some crazy ones who like legit aborting babies, but
yeah, I don't think most people.
I think probably most of the time that's a traumatic experience for a woman to get an abortion.
In my mind, it has to be somewhat traumatic, especially like later on.
Oh yeah,
because
100%. The
hormonal shifts that you have due to having carrying a child, I guess you could call it a fetus, whatever you want to call it, but it really affects your mind.
It's a developing human. It's a child. Child in development.
Yeah. It's an alpha version of a child.
Pre-alpha.
It's pre-alpha. Pre-alpha. It's a pre-alpha human. Okay, that's pre-alpha human.
Pre-alpha Homo sapien.
Yeah, it's a pre-alpha Homo sapien. I really think that the hormonal shifts and stuff can really like suddenly like that baby being gone and all these shifts happening to your body can really fuck up your brain. Honestly, like
oh yeah,
I really think that not only that, but there are a lot of women, not religious women, right, that I've talked to. That really, really regret, like they really feel like they don't know how they would have been able to pull it off back then because this reason and that reason they don't know how they would have been able to do it, but they really regret doing it. They mourn that loss, right?
Yeah.
I've seen it affect their future children because of it.
I think women who get abortions, I think they should also be able to get. I mean, you can, but it should be pushed that you get like some like.
I think that should be a
mental health or
heavy recommendation,
psychological help.
And that's what I mean about the social view of abortion needs to change, because it's not just something casual you go do, right?
That's a big deal.
It's not something that just like, oh, you had a problem, so we fixed it. It's an emotional thing.
Well,
right?
The thing that really kind of seems crazy, like imagine this woman, she has an abortion in her early 20s, mid 20s, but then she aborts it. A couple years later, she gets married, has a couple kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know how rough that's going to how rough it's going to be for her to tell her kids.
She doesn't ever have to tell them.
She doesn't have to, but you know how like heartbreaking that'd be for her to tell her kids. You had a brother or sister, but I aborted.
Because
I aborted him or her.
Well, you could argue if they existed, the children you have and love so much now wouldn't exist.
True.
Right? But there is this feeling of, from what I've read and what I've heard, it isn't just a what if thing. I've like read and from what I've heard that, basically, because of the love you feel towards your current children, you know that that's how much you would have loved that one. And now you know the value of the child that you let slip from you or gave, let go away. So now you regret it and such and such.
Well, it seems like a lot of, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
What?
It seems like definitely a handful of women that do have abortions, they eventually do become like pro-life.
Yeah.
And definitely like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could say as of right now, I'm definitely more in the pro-choice area.
I know several girls that because their mom got an abortion, and how they saw that affected their mom and how that affected their relationship with their mom and their mom's psychology, they're now pro-life as hell personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, as someone who's Christian, I mean, I know a lot of people like the Ben Shapiro's and just a lot of the big time Charlie Kirks, and they'll be like, well, we got to, that's the new. Basically, I understand what they're trying. It's life, and I think it should be defended. But like, I think obviously in this argument, it's really strong, and I can't disagree with it. That it's also pro-life to support the woman in her life. In the case she has an ectopic pregnancy.
I mean, that's already protected, though. That's different.
Yeah, but she might become like a broke mother who doesn't have enough money to support her and the child. Yeah. So it's like, are you pro-life? Like, are you pro-life after the womb, after the baby's born? It's kind of
and that to me kind of seems like pro-well-being, because like, they're alive, they're just suffering. Yeah.
I think anymore, like, if a woman has an abortion, you can't be like, oh, you're a Satanist, right? I think that's something ultimately, like, one day she'll have to face God herself. And if God doesn't like it, I mean, you can do what he wants. But, that's something I think it's ultimately between the woman and God.
As a less religious type of person, I think that, maybe that's the case, maybe it's not, but I think at least they have to face themselves at some point, right? Like that will pop in their head at some point.
They're going to face someone, and ultimately it's themselves in between.
Yeah.
And I also think, the whole idea, like, I know some people are like, well, it was God's plan that this girl got raped, and, well, who's to say this person, that this girl got pregnant and the child that she's bearing and she gets abortion, who's to say that person was really never meant to be like in the world as a like fully developed human? Who's to say that wasn't God's intention? Maybe it was more like a lesson, or Yeah. We don't know how he works. He ain't cut and dry.
Yeah, and
so I mean, I don't see how someone could argue with that idea that maybe like this person isn't meant to be, because you'll see people make a miscarriage. They're like, oh, well, that person wasn't meant to be. It was all meant to be. They'll say it's meant to be. Yeah. Right? Or like someone dies in a car accident. Oh, it was meant to be. Just stuff like that. Yeah. Which, I don't...
There's this general view among religious people that naturally occurring things are...
right. Meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the will of God,
Who's to say the will of God wasn't through that woman to get an abortion? And her
maybe it wasn't.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's honestly one of the...
That's where I fall right now in terms of religious view.
Yeah. Anyone who watches, please feel free to, if you know us personally, talk to us about it. Talk to us about it. I love a good discussion, obviously. Or post it down in the comments if you can, like, if you feel like taking the time to do that, because that'd be kind of interesting to read. Yeah.
So I guess right now I'm pro-choice. But like, definitely like very like, yeah, abortion's fucked up.
Yeah, I think it's immoral.
I think they should, to be honest, have late term abortions be illegal.
Yes,
there needs. I think there should be a limit, because there's a point you really get to a point it gets like gruesome. I remember I found Ben Shapiro posted a link of this website, and these people went into an abandoned abortion clinic They found these like things with like these dead babies. I mean, it literally looks like if someone got like a baby and murdered it. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah.
It was sickening.
Yeah.
And you can't just sit there and tell me, be like, this is okay at this late of an age. Like, this is okay. No.
That's just infanticide. And, you know, I think that
there needs to be a line drawn for both when you can't get the abortion and when you can't, I think.
For sure. But there should for sure be a good time period.
A good time for the woman makes the decision. She really think it over. I don't think it should be specifically on time, but may actually like development of the baby itself. I don't know.
The development of a baby is pretty consistent.
It is, but you know, maybe like that's the pain in the ass part about that. A woman will have to like, oh no, am I over the limit because they have to constantly get an ultrasound or something?
Yeah, you should just do it based on time. Make it simple.
Yeah, time would be simple.
You see, sometimes things aren't about like the 100%. It's just about practicality.
Make it off the average.
And that's the whole reason why I think abortion is the right option, despite viewing it as immoral, is that practicality's sake, right? Utility's sake. I think that overall, it creates a better society with it legal than with it illegal.
Well, the thing is too, maybe, you know, okay, it gets reinstated, and you know, maybe like women start having abortions, you know. It's, you know, women will have abortions, but it'll be through like coat hangers and back alley type of shit.
Yeah.
Maybe like once they like grow up and they have actually kids themselves, they'll slowly realize like, oh yeah, like I had an abortion back then, and it'll affect their psyche.
Yeah. And
it maybe turn society more into like, this should really be like a last resort option. I don't think society's completely there yet. It could definitely seem something like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Well, because I think back in like I was talking to my father about this, right? He was born in the 70s, you know, so his teenage years, 80s, right? We're in the 80s. And he talked about how like in the 80s, early 90s, basically we were told it was kind of no big deal, right? And then we just kind of went along with that because, you know, they were kids and stuff, right? They were young. And he says now he kind of sees why it's a big deal, right? Because he has kids of his own, right. Yada, yada. Yeah, I don't think... Well,
when you see especially a lot of the young people our age and maybe a little older like arguing about it, like they don't have kids themselves yet. So it's like, how can they understand that? We can't understand that even, you know, even as men.
Yeah.
Even someone like a girl our age, like I don't think they could truly fully understand it. Maybe not.
I think you can.
They can, but they can't imagine it compared to a woman who actually has children of her own.
I think there's you can understand it logically.
You can understand, but
you can't understand it in here.
Emotionally and attachment wise. But who am I to say? I'm just a man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
like I said, we are two men discussing the choices of females and their bodies. Do not take anything we were just saying to be serious.
Well, you know, I take it a little bit serious.
It's serious, but don't take it to like,
because like
this is our like true thoughts. We're open for interpretation.
Yeah, I think it's important for everyone to have an opinion within the society, even on stuff that is only indirectly affecting you. And my reason being is that how far does that extend, right? Like, you know, because if only companies could vote on laws that regulate companies, how terrible would that be? Right?
Awful. It'd be awful. It'd be a mess.
I don't agree with a lot of the regulations. I'm more of a laissez-faire type person. But even I can see that, like, you know, if an oil company was allowed to, like, pump all of its wasted stuff, which they don't really have much, if any, waste after processing, because everything's useful from the crude oil, pretty much. If they were to dump that stuff anywhere, maybe they would. Maybe they would just dump it anywhere. And that'd be terrible. But, you know, yeah. Also, I think with the abortion having a limited time, right? Here's the thing. I also think that if abortion's allowed, my body, my choice, I think men should be allowed to not be financially culpable for such things, because it's my body, my choice. My body makes the money. that and I want to use that money for me. But I do think that, you know, if there's going to be a time limit on when an abortion has to be done.
You don't think the man should be tied to help finance?
If he doesn't want to, no.
Doesn't want to?
No, because we just gave the argument about well-being, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Right?
That's true. I think it's the most grown-up thing to do for a man to.
Well, like we said, we
But
also
it's based off his
said,
well-being, but yeah, his well-being.
we also said the most moral and grown-up thing to do would probably be to carry the baby to term and deal with it.
Yeah.
Right? But that's what we believe. We believe in moral things, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it should ultimately be the man. For me, if I got a girl pregnant,
Yeah,
and
I'd feel guilty.
I would feel guilty, I would do what I can to take care of the child.
Yeah.
I want to be a runaway daddy.
Though it would definitely be crossing my mind.
It would cross my mind.
But
But
I don't want to do this. This bitch is crazy.
Nobody.
Do we even know it's mine? Right?
Jeez, I hope it's mine.
Like,
I hope I don't have to get into one of those dilemmas.
yeah, but by like if and here's the thing, like, if there's gonna be a time limit, like if there's gonna be a time limit on when you can get the abortion. So, like, this woman has to decide if she wants to do this or not. And a big part if she's going to decide to do it or not is if you're going to help her or not. Right? So,
Yeah.
so you have to decide by the 14 weeks too. Or maybe as a man, you get a tighter time period. Maybe you get a tighter time limit on that.
Well, ultimately, it should be like if the woman, she needs to know, like, if only herself, additional help is great.
Yeah.
But if her herself can take care of this child, then she should, I think then if she knows that she could take care of the child, then yeah, she might not get an abortion. But if she knows that, like, I can't take care of this child, I can't, I don't have the money.
Yeah.
Then, that might be
but
her
if the guy you
justifiable
had it with is saying, I'm going to help you.
Yeah, then she
right?
might be more open to having the baby.
And then she might be like, okay, together we can do this. And then you decide at 8 months, I got cold feet. I don't want this anymore. That's terrible. That's we can't allow that to happen. Basically, if you don't sign off by a certain number of weeks within the pregnancy. Now, I also think you have to a certain number of weeks once you've been informed of the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Right?
Not of conception.
Not at conception. That also,
but that gets pretty.
That
gray,
gets a lot of gray.
Because
yeah.
not all women find out at the same time.
Yeah. So how do you solve that? That sounds pretty.
I think you'd have. I think we make a set rule. Like if we were to make what our assumptions about when should when should abortions be outlawed after a certain period? When should they have that grace period to make that decision?
Yeah.
I think that ultimately needs to be made by women. And if there is any men who know, about
because the
fetal development,
because when the woman finds out, and when she tells the guy, is directly linked to, how fast he can make the decision. How long he takes to make the decision is directly linked to how long she can make her decision, right? Which, we're working within 14 weeks here.
But there's always not the condition that she's always going to tell the guy. It might be a one-night stand. She just might meet some guy.
And if you don't inform the guy, if you don't inform him.
Fun, a girl goes down with her one friend who's getting married at the bachelorette party down in Nashville. She might hook up some, cowboy dude at the, Jason Aldean's bar. She gets pregnant, finds out, she's going to have a baby from this dude that she just hooked up with. How's she gonna let the guy know?
Yeah, maybe you send him an official,
very detailed, but just just the random guy she hooks up with.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Then here what you do is that you have a digital form that basically you have the man that the man receives, and he decides whether he wants to be responsible or not for the baby.
But what if she just hooked up with this dude at the bar? They were in in some city, hooked up, went just back to the hotel, no contact, and he left then. Just left in the morning, no contacts were made, just nothing. We just did it, done over with.
And he doesn't know until after the fact?
He might not even know ever if this girl gets
pregnant.
He
can't be. I don't think he can be financially culpable. I don't think he can be financially culpable at all. I also don't think someone who had a one-night stand, and even if they knew each other or something, if she never told him she was pregnant prior
Well, I ultimately don't think a woman has to tell anyone if
no, but what I'm saying
morally
is
right.
if she doesn't tell him, all I'm saying is that he cannot be held financially accountable. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's my only reasoning is like the financial accountability of the situation, right? If she doesn't tell him, that's her right not to tell him. She can do whatever the hell she fucking wants. But I fucking missed.
Close.
But I could have got it if I slammed the table, but that would have been terrible.
Yeah,
for
I
the
don't want
recording.
to knock the mic over and make a loud ass noise.
Yeah, basically it's just about the financial stuff. If she doesn't want to tell him, she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But then she can't get financial aid from the guy. Legally can't get financial aid, right? If for some reason he gets back together with her and he helps her support the baby, that's like his choice. But like,
yeah,
legally she can't force him to support her. If he agrees to it prior to the abortion, right? Prior to the abortion period, agrees to support the baby, he's locked in.
Right.
No matter if you cheat on him with 60 other dudes, he's still locked into supporting that child.
Yeah. I think also just like with the religious thing, I think having, Roe v. Wade like overturned based off, these ultimately it was these judges who made the final call.
Yeah.
Off their, religious views. I mean, like, yeah, ultimately, like, I see where they're coming from as a Christian, but like a democracy doesn't function and thrive when you have basing things off of certain religious beliefs. I think democracies have to be religiously neutral, separation from church and state.
Yeah.
Because
you could argue this. You could argue this that it's not a belief but a value.
Yeah.
That you believe that you value life. Like you think life is important. Well, and you think the life of that, you think that life is important too.
So, did you also hear what Judge Clarence Thomas said might be next?
For what?
For Supreme Court ruling, supposedly. Now, I think he said this, but like it's we don't know. I don't know actually a whole lot about it, but what he said is basically like I need something to fiddle with. What next?
Go ahead.
The next on the thing they might try and like outlaw or make illegal is gay marriages and shit like that. Gay marriages.
That is bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Look, who you love. Look, I personally, I think marriage should be. The state should not deal in marriage.
Shouldn't.
Now, I can see some of the benefits of supporting a marriage because it also supports your country. So, like, as a government, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to support men and women having long-term relationships because that produces more stable wealth within the country and also produces higher quality of the next generation of a higher quality, which helps us increase wealth more, yada, yada, so on and so forth, right? But
that shouldn't be like something like a party should be we specifically let's say party X supports straight marriages because it promotes the next generation of America. I don't think they should do that. That should be something individual kept.
Exactly. Love is love. Love is love. Yeah. Love is love. Now, but here's the thing. You could argue that not all, but a lot of that same stability and growth can be achieved through, non. We'll just say like we can through gay marriages, right? Like, two people living in the same household are more efficient, have more ability to invest, stuff like that, right? So there's still some benefit to the government supporting those long-term stuff by giving tax breaks.
I think the government should support families.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that makes a lot of sense. Families, yeah.
Single families, single parent families.
And by support, I don't mean give money to. I mean
like support.
I
families.
mean like basically like you get tax breaks on certain things, stuff like that.
That's another conversation.
Tax breaks?
Yeah, for families and stuff.
Why?
Because I'm not really that well-rounded in that stuff.
Oh, that's the only reason why marriage certificates and stuff exist. Is for like a legal person that your items can go to, right? Okay. And for like tax breaks and such. That's why.
Yeah, I think the government, like, if you're just a straight family, a gay family, a lesbian, I think the government should support just families in general. Even if it's a single mom, but it's still a tight family, she's still raising kids.
For sure,
governments should promote family values.
Because
that ultimately feeds into the next generation of your citizens, and that those people will. Continue the process.
I think everyone should have less taxes. Like, I think there should be barely any, but that's like a different conversation entirely.
Of course.
But yeah, basically, I think it's bullshit. People who love who they love have long-term relationships with who they have long-term relationships with.
I want to see like.
Now, will I say there hasn't been any abuse to this? No. Like, I've definitely seen guys like claim to be in a gay marriage, legally, but they are definitely not gay. They're like out partying with chicks and stuff. They're just using it for the tax exemption.
So
the tax breaks and
no, this is more like I want to see what actually he said.
Yeah, but I disagree with that entirely. I think that's dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
I think that's such a waste of fucking political will.
Yeah, what's stupid? Like, who gives a shit what these people want to do?
Like, shit like this is gonna make it so like everything. You know what I mean? If you keep rolling like this, the snapback's gonna be terrible.
Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas suggested the court should reconsider rights like birth control and same-sex marriage in future decisions after the court overturned Roe v. Wade. Jesus Christ, offended this decades.
So if you roll back up there real quick. That's the important thing that I'm kind of glad Roe v. Wade got turned over is the upending of some precedent. I wish it could be reinstated as like
this website's a freaking
clusterfuck. There needs to be a restriction on when you do it because I think yeah, for sure. But yeah,
I could keep going. I could hear Mark says, "Gosh damn capitalism, putting all these damn abs on my webpage." Some states can't deprive people of life, liberty, or property without the process of law. Rule on abortion, not actually, and that's not what we're going to talk about. Which affirm the right to same-sex marriage and constitutional right to. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Not other rulings the court has made based off due process rights like Ober Jafel Hodge, which affirmed the right to same-sex marriage, and Griswold v. Connecticut, which guaranteed a constitutional right to privacy and the right for married couples to use contraceptives.
Precisely. Now, I think both of those were important because I think privacy is a human right. But keep going. I'm sorry.
I just want to see what he said. Yeah, he also Lawrence v. Texas, which affirmed the right to sexual intimacy between same-sex couples, were also called erroneous. Which means full of error. Okay. And has the duty to correct the error established in the precedents.
Well, full of error is technically wrong. It's like error, like has it is an error or like yeah. Sorry. But keep going. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I also saw like him basically like saying like, yeah, it should be like people should get punished for having like sodomy, like gay couples should have. That's what this Clarence Thomas is saying.
Look, that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit.
Supposedly, he wants the gay marriages, illegal. I mean, yeah, this guy's living in fucking 1950s world here.
You wish not. This fucking 1800s world, okay?
1800s world, yeah.
Man wants to bring us back to the dark ages. Not literally, but I mean, in comparison to what we have today.
Legal experts have warned that same-sex marriage rights are likely to be targeted after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, along with the fundamental privacy rights and contraceptive rights granted by Griswold. Though Thomas didn't target it by name, legal experts have also suggested Lovin v. Virginia, which legalized interracial. No, you're not gonna. They can't. Oh my God! Look, what's next? They're gonna make interracial marriage illegal? Like what?
Look, dude. That
legalize interracial marriage.
Why the hell would experts suggest that that's connected? Look, a lot of people that I know that are like,
the fact that it had to be legalized to make interracial marriage, she'll be like, what?
Well, Also, I think it's funny that the name was Loving for the interracial. That's quite poetic. But I don't think that people who want same-sex marriage gone are also like raging racists. Though I do believe like people who are more left-leaning might think that. But I think both are pretty fucked. Like I obviously think the interracial one is a bit more fucked than the gay one, but they're both like very fucked.
They're screwed up on two different like
and like
ends, you know.
Yeah, one's like they're saying the same thing. Basically, you can't love and marry who you want to love and marry. Like. That's fucked up.
Whatever happens inside the house in terms of shit.
And did you see how they overturned the right to privacy? That's more important than you think, because like
you start plucking the chicken's feathers.
Yep, and I really think that with the way the NSA and the recent especially with the amount of spying on the American people, for lack of a better way of saying it coming to my head, the amount of surveillance over the American people, instated by President Obama most heavily. If you didn't know that, and you think I'm just an Obama hater, look, I'm not an Obama hater. Just go look it up. He was very much crucial to having all that put in place and being so much more important. But with all that being ramped up to 11, despite being against constitutional rulings and not being applied because of whatever reason, I think it's right now one of the most. It's so important to protect privacy. What do you think?
Oh, 100%. Well, especially with like data and stuff. I'm currently reading this book called Red Handed by Peter Schweitzer.
Okay. Heard
about
it.
Like the Chinese Communist Party, how many like decide diplomats,
Yeah.
people on Capitol Hill,
Yeah.
Wall Street,
Yeah.
and just how much just ties they have with all these firms.
Yeah.
I saw a news story today, just how much data they just seethe and just siphon from us.
Yeah.
I saw something that
they're doing it right now with your through Windows.
What?
Microsoft. They're doing it right now through Windows.
Yeah.
Through your fucking operating system.
Yeah. Because Bill Gates, he loves the CCP.
He thinks they're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, man. Bill Gates is a bastard.
I used to think that the shit about him being such an evil, because you hear so many conspiracy theorists say the shit about Bill Gates being evil Illuminati. I don't know about Illuminati. I don't know about Illuminati, but he definitely is fucked up, man. He
ain't right.
Because he really aligns himself with some groups and people that are just not good for.
He likes control.
Yeah, well, because if you know what, and I think this is what a lot of people view. They think that they know better, or that humans can't take care of themselves. Yeah.
That's like some.
I view every human being.
That's some Thanos shit there.
That's some what?
That's like some Thanos shit.
Yeah, it's more.
That's but Thanos had at least some. I don't know. He's
you guys don't know what's good for you.
Thanos at least believed in free will, though.
He at least believed in free will.
Yeah.
He
does randomize.
Yeah, basically he's I'm just gonna randomize it. Y'all can do whatever. But he, the authoritarian nature of, if you don't know what's good for you, basically the government and other entities looking at you like a child is kind of the whole point of the revolution. The Revolutionary War. And I know, going back to that, that was a different era. That stuff doesn't apply anymore. It's a different world.
The basic reasons of why.
But the principle of it, man.
Yeah.
The reason they did it is because they wanted to live free lives. They wanted to choose how they live, shit like that.
Time is a flat circle. It's bound to repeat itself. If we break the circle.
History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme,
Yeah.
I forget who said that, but something.
That's actually really cool. But the thing I saw about the China and CCP, the FCC, they told either they were going to tell Google and Apple, or they already did. They want to take TikTok off Apple Store and Google Play Store. I think it's good.
I'm not seeing. I got to be honest. Other than like promoting music and stuff,
doesn't make a difference though. TikTok no, it doesn't make a difference. It's one less thing. There's a time that they wanted Microsoft to buy ByteDance. They wanted Microsoft to buy TikTok off ByteDance.
Yeah, I know.
But the amount of cahoots that Bill Gates has with the CCP, what's the difference?
There is none.
There is none.
That's why that was set up as the compromise, because they're like, oh, just give it to Bill Gates. He'll give it to us anyways.
Do you think I've thought of this before? Would it also be authoritarian if a leader in America said to firms and companies, you can't like it'll be illegal to make firms be able to interact with China in this day and age?
So
is that authoritarian on our part? But also tell them you still have whatever, you could still interact with any other firms.
So personally, in an ideal world, I think it's perfectly legal to interact with China, even if they're a bad actor.
It's perfectly legal, yes.
Even if they're a bad actor, right? Because I think in a perfect world, people are smart enough with their money, smart enough with their decision making, smart enough to know that
we could just avoid them.
That you just avoid companies that work with them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe along the lines of some transparency laws, right? I really think that there should be heavy transparency
of what you're dealing
with what you're dealing with, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I think you should be able to get full access to your data that they've collected. I think that's a necessary thing, because I think that if you're gonna collect my data and sell it, I have a right to at least look at it.
Right.
But I also think collecting data and selling data should be legal too. I think that
Well, what's the data like? Okay, I make a, I don't know, just an Instagram account. I mean, what data are they really taking from me? Where I live, my face,
where you live, what you look like, who you associate with is the big one. What demographics you fall in, what ads you want to buy, what your political affiliations might be. It could even get temperaments from you. Once you get if you can get 100 different, if you can get so many data points, if you can get 100 data points on someone, you can predict so much about them based off those 100 data points.
Right. It's more just
and it becomes so easy, because Instagram even measures how long you look at a post, how fast you swipe through, how you swipe through, right? How do you really look at that ad? Do you stop on the ad? Now, if you stop on the ad, how do you stop on the ad? Does it seem like you're stopping? That's you, not me.
Yeah.
Does it seem like you're stopping because you were just scrolling and then you got to talk to someone, or are you actually stopping because fucking leather caps actually interest you, right? But
I'm do they interest you when there's leather caps?
I was coming up with some random nonsense.
Okay,
I was thinking about wallets, the Xker wallets, but I was I don't want to mention
your data.
No, I actually don't get those ads. I just didn't want to mention that, because fuck. If you want us to mention you, I don't care if we have 0 people watching. You can pay me. Okay,
pay us. I will only mention you if I really like your products.
Yeah, if I like you enough, or
How many times I've already shouted out George's on this podcast?
Dude, George's. If you ever in downtown Canton, go to George's Lounge. Get a fucking burger, man. You won't regret it.
Going there tonight, baby.
You won't regret it. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, so obviously they use data to
Wait, there's no burgers. You can't go to George's night anyways.
Yeah, there is.
It's Thursday.
They have them back now on Thursdays. They've had it back.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
When they reintroduced Thursdays.
When?
Yeah, when? A month ago?
Oh, no, quite a bit.
Fuck.
That one time I got that roast beef. Well, no, I think for a time we got the roast beef there because that was the only thing they're serving on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And we thought that how it was for a bit. I think one night we went there again, and then I think
Expecting roast
I
beef.
called them. I think, and I think I called them because before we went down because we weren't sure. And I'm like to the guy like, you guys are serving burgers on Thursdays, right? He's like, oh yeah, we're serving them. I'm like, oh okay, cool. I thought you guys are still doing the roast beef. He's like, no, we're now selling burgers on Thursdays. I'm like, nice.
Burgers are lit.
Yeah. I don't think it makes a difference if TikTok's banned off.
It makes zero difference, and in fact, I think it actually is a net negative because it makes people think that the whole thing is over now. You know, like it's been dealt with, when really nothing's been done. It was all just for show. Anyways,
I don't know how we got out of this whole China thing.
We got into the China thing because you're talking about privacy.
Well, I said I don't know how we get out of this whole China thing.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you meant talking about like.
No, I know. Yeah, but like,
I'll tell you how.
I think right now, like you said, I think having transparent laws, like telling firms like what they're going to be dealing with, what they're going to be doing to the country. But I like that's the reason I don't know if that's like if it's too authoritarian for the United States to like.
There's lots of precedents for it.
Make it illegal or something for companies to be able to deal with China, because I mean like we're in a very, very scary time with the threat China has to the world and what the culture they want.
And some people really think that we're overstating this
of communism.
Like the threat of communism, yeah. Really what it is a threat of is anything that's like authoritarian, basically like anything that's like telling you how to live your life and basically controlling and monitoring you in some sort of way. I think that's the biggest threat, whether it's communist, fascist, whateverist, right? Or whateverism. I think that's a big threat because China right now they really remind me of Nazi Germany.
China?
Right? Yeah. They have the CCP, which is like the the Nazi party, right? Instead, it's the Chinese Communist Party. You have the
genocide of the Uyghurs.
You have the genocide of the Uyghurs.
The Tibetan monks.
Right now, they get
I think they were like they were doing something weird. Like
dude, you know they had the Uyghurs like all cooped up in the same province, pretty much.
Oh yeah, it's fucked
and
up.
then they forced them to marry non-Uyghurs. They forced them to
because they want to try and slowly.
They're trying to breed them out.
Oh god, that's sick.
They're literally trying to breed them out. There's other things. There are other people. I've heard whispers that they've like released like diseases onto them. That's just rumors, though. I don't know anything. I have not confirmed that.
If it's a rumor.
They send them to re-education camps.
It's a rumor about them, releasing diseases. But would it surprise me? No. Because the CCP, they don't give a fuck about you or your life.
They don't give a fuck about life.
Your life under the CCP
you're a pig.
And communism, your life is just to support the state. Beyond
you're
that,
a number, baby.
You're a fucking pig. You could fucking die for all we care. You could be a defect. We'll kill you. That's the CCP. That's communism for you.
Yeah, I think any sort of top-down system like communism is going to end up with authoritarianism because you can't control a system like that without brutality. Maybe someone can prove me wrong, right? Because you're supposed to have that communal communism type thing where it's like the state's abolished and everyone shares.
We're here for each other.
But before that, the whole idea of like a vanguard party is always going to end in highly authoritarian states restricting the lives and decisions of people. It's never going to go well. And you could argue, and you could definitely argue that China isn't communism; it's state capitalism. Which I'd argue
it's communism that does understand the importance of capitalism.
I actually would argue they're not really doing communism. They just took all the authoritarian parts of communism
And the cultural aspects of
and the cultural like propaganda type stuff.
Socially, it's definitely communist.
Yeah, so it does heavily remind you of the old Russian state,
Economically,
of the old Maoist China.
It's part yes, because everything's state run. Yeah,
obviously, obviously things are not as bad as it was back in Maoist China.
I would say what would we say? It's 75%. No, it's bigger than 75% communism.
But at the same time, though, it really is just like, to me, it's like state. It's basically just like authoritarianism. It's the only way you can put it, because the people, the markets there are heavily capitalistic. They're just controlled by the state.
Yeah, but winter is if it you go to Beijing, you see all the parades. It looks like a duck. It talks like a duck. It quacks like a duck. It probably is a fucking duck.
Yeah, but what if it shits like a horse?
Well, I don't know. Sounds like they got their heads on CRISPR.
That's what I mean. Like,
no, but the CCP, they make communist Russia look like a bitch. In terms of like what it actually is being able to do.
Yeah, because they switched over from they're not really doing communism per se.
Yeah, real.
It's also because they were willing to work so much with the outside world. And the world was willing to work with them.
Bilateral diplomacy, helping
also, what they did with their currencies and the way they allowed companies in, and then would like trap them, pretty much making it hard to remove their funds and investments out of China. Very, very ingenious, very smart. The way they bribed the right people in the right places. CCP did a good job with that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm sure the CCP loves to be complimented, and maybe we'll get boosted if we say CCP good. Yeah.
Yeah, CCP be good. Yeah,
CCP good. CCP very good. But no. Yeah. Also, what's going on with the Russian government, is not very good right now either. And I thought they came a long way from the Soviet era.
Oh, the Russian government.
Yeah, Russian government. Because they're setting up. I think they already set up their own firewall, just like China has.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was just a couple of years back, right?
Yeah, but
or was that like 10 years ago?
But
now?
Yeah, but since everything's pulling out and shit, I mean, like, they're coming pariah state.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with Russia.
Also, dude,
they're artificially boosting its the fucking.
We have no idea how fucked up. Like, we have no idea. Like, I find it so fascinating that we have no idea, like, how well Ukraine is doing against them. Like, we know how many like injuries and destroyed stuff we have on the Russian side, because we have so many like informants from the Russian side. So we know exactly how many troops are losing every day, how many like this are losing, yada yada, even like what they're planning to do. But we don't know like if Ukrainians are like just putting on like a good show, like a good face, and they're actually like
kicking ass.
Well, no, like they put on they basically show the world that they're like kicking ass, they're holding on well. But like they could be just like completely out of resources and like falling over dead. But we wouldn't know that.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I think they're doing well though. I think in reality.
Well, that's what they want you to think. I don't know though.
Right. Well, Russia could be making us think that too.
No, because Russia doesn't like that. They want them to look bad. Because them looking bad would result in us in like if it looked
I thought you meant like. Oh, Russia! You mean like them telling us how many are lost?
We don't know how many. Russia doesn't inform us of that stuff. But we have informants. We have spies.
Oh yeah.
Basically, we have like intelligence.
Oh
people
yeah, I don't think
on the Russian side, but we don't have any intelligence in Ukraine.
Yeah, well, we do, but
we have very little to none.
We have intelligence, but
it's very little intelligence.
Look at little intelligence on the right topics.
We have very little intelligence about what's going on in Ukraine from the Ukrainian point of view.
I think. Well, look how.
As far as I understand.
Look how much the world is attached to the Ukraine thing. I think everyone wants to be so supportive of Ukraine, which I'm supporting Ukraine 100%.
Yeah. Of course.
But I don't think. I think there's also an aim to keep things positive as they can.
Yeah.
So maybe like intelligence really does know how many like casualties are on the Ukraine side, but they're not.
But maybe no one wants to.
They're not letting them get through the public. Only people with clearances and.
Well, like the Russia stuff isn't like the Russia's stuff isn't supposed to go through the, or even that we know anything about Russia is supposed to get through to the public, but someone leaked that anyways.
Right, but
why is no one leaking the Ukrainian stuff?
Could be these. I mean, there isn't a lot of intelligence. But I hear there's CIA agents.
Well, I hear there is some. I'm just saying we're not in the inner circles enough.
Right.
Our intelligence isn't close enough to the source to actually know anything.
Yeah, well, I think also that the concern is, you kill. They might kill like a train.
Oh, train. Thank you.
I hope. I hope. I think also the concern is, if we have like an intelligence operator on the field and get killed by Russia, that might be like an act of war, and Russia might be like nuke time. So, I know there's a lot of like freelancers right now that are American out there and British. I saw a video on TikTok of these little like platoon or like fire team of like British and like American soldiers like having an ambush of a Russian convoy.
Really?
Yeah, pretty badass.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I love to watch the
real guerrilla like warfare shit.
Well, yeah, because that's what you got to do when you're outmanned. But I love to watch the drone, the anti-drone weapons they have, like the makeshift ones. They're so hilarious.
Oh yeah.
They're so fucking dumb.
Ukraine or
Ukraine's.
Yeah.
Like they have one guy made it like an EMP generator.
Mm-hmm.
A pretty powerful one. It can't have that good of a range, but they show it working. But like it can't have a good range.
Chad, the guy who moved to the old studio.
Yeah.
He one of his companies, it's a drone company. He was actually like in Ukraine, I guess, a month ago, like consulting about drone shit.
Wow.
Yeah. I want to get Chad on this show.
You could also do interference stuff too to fuck with the drones, but they might have like an auto flight.
Yeah.
I'd rather just hit them with a shotgun.
Do you see like the one like picture? It's like, I don't know, like something like it shows a picture of like a drone over like some monkeys throwing rocks.
Yeah.
But then it shows them over some people that throw like beer bottles. And I think it's just like, you're not too far off.
No, we are not. I try to remind people that we're not too far from the monkeys, man. Like, we really are just big naked apes, People throwing up. Why is that a fucking search thing?
Maybe it's funnier than we think. I don't know. Here we go. So let's end it on this. Let's just see. Let's end the podcast.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Here's the picture right here. Look at that. Parental advisory, baby.
There's a bunch of white fucking trash looking people throwing bottles.
What, like, there's a one like specifically about evolution. You know what I'm talking about?
I have not seen it, but I can imagine it.
It's something like this, but like it's basically like, oh man, let me see if the evolution meme.
Fucking Florida man.
I don't know.
I don't care. It's fine. It's funny as hell, though.
Well, yep. There it is.
Amen.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 38 of the Just North Hell podcast.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, this is a deep discussion.
We were over. I was all over the place. Marky stayed on topic quite well. I know I stepped on him a little bit. I'm sorry, Mark. But yeah.
I don't care. I'm just the host.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves.
Peace out.
Peace out.
The information or opinions expressed during the Just North of Hell podcast are solely those of the individuals involved. The primary purpose of this podcast is entertainment. As such, the Just North of Hell podcast is not responsible and does not verify any of the information contained in the podcast.